Thank you. Oh, there's a lot of people here. I'm actually older than Dr. Kiltz. I'll be 71 in July, so y'all can say happy birthday. So I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 16. And when they sent me home from the hospital, they sent me with this list of foods I was supposed to eat. And they said, oh, you have to eat 6 pieces of bread a day and have a 2,000 calorie diet, and you got to make sure you eat all those carbs, but don't eat any sugar. So I was only 16, but I wasn't stupid. So I knew that if I ate 6 pieces of bread a day, including potatoes and rice and all that other stuff, that I would get fat. And I was like a normal 16-year-old. I wanted to look good. So I knew right then that doctors knew nothing about nutrition and that I would just ignore what they said. And, I'd take my insulin, but, I was smarter than they were. So right out of college, I started researching diet. And an interesting thing about when you have type 1 diabetes, are there any type 1 diabetics here? 1, 2, just 2? Okay, and so how many type 2 diabetics are here?
Or been type 2 diabetic.
Or if you've ever been type 2 diabetic. 1, 2, so there's quite a few. It's a completely different disease, but I'll get into that in a minute. But we still have the same goals. You want to balance your blood sugar, and you want to be as insulin sensitive as you can. So I started reading nutrition books when I got out of school, and I became convinced that I could heal type 1 diabetes. Even though everybody said you couldn't, I was still going to try. So I started going on every diet. I took every herb, anything that promised better blood sugar, I was doing it. So I became a vegetarian. I ate mostly cheese and eggs, and thankfully I fed my kids cheese and eggs because we weren't vegan, we were just vegetarians. And when I was pregnant, I would eat maybe a little chicken or tuna or something, a little flesh. First time we had a baked chicken on the table, my 4-year-old looks at it, and I said, it's a chicken. And he says, where's the face? So we had an adventurous life, being vegetarians. So I continued to read nutrition books and try all kinds of things. I was really convinced that I could heal. And then by the time I was 42, after 25 years of type 1, I started getting really sick. And somehow I had avoided most of the complications. But at 42, I had 2 frozen shoulders, I had 2 frozen hips, I had sore knees, I couldn't stand for long, and if I got down on the floor, it would take me at least a solid minute to get back up. If I sat down in a chair, it would take me a whole minute to get up straight again. So my husband was an artist, and he painted me a lot. And so I posed for him all the time, and I would stand out by the water with the blue water and the blue sky behind me, with the pose and the white dress and all that. I could no longer stand for those paintings because I was just so sore and so stiff, and I couldn't do it. So that is when I found Dr. Richard Bernstein. Probably all the diabetics here have heard of him, but Dr. Richard Bernstein, he actually just died at 91. He was a type 1 diabetic. My voice is shaking. I don't feel nervous. Y'all seem really friendly. Well, I found Dr. Bernstein, and his recommendation is very low carb, less than 30 grams of carbs a day. So as soon as I heard of it, I listened to his tapes. I did it the very next day. And within about a month and a half, all my stiffness and soreness went away. And I was like, this is great. This is awesome. So I did that for the next 7 years. But then I realized, well, I'm not really any closer to healing. This is just maintenance. Yeah, it's good, and I feel great, and my A1Cs are good, but I don't know. So then I heard about the raw vegan diet, because there was this kid who was diagnosed with type 1, and he went raw vegan, and he didn't have to go on insulin. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do raw vegan. I did that for 7 years until I started getting deficiencies and soreness again. And so my husband and I, at the time, we said, we're going to start eating meat. We're going to do the keto diet. And we had a consultation with someone. I started looking into the keto diet. I actually ran across the forums by zeroing in on health. And I saw you. I saw Dr. Wiedemann, Lisa, and Kelly Hogan, and Charles Washington, and Joe and Charlene Anderson. And I just said, I don't know, that's maybe not. But I was researching keto, so I'm going to do keto. So we did keto for the next 8 years, and we did a lot of local food and regenerative farming, and we got really into it. It was awesome. And again, I felt good. It was wonderful. I was doing really great. My blood sugars were really great, but I wasn't really healing. And even though some things did heal, but there was still a lot of things that were wrong, and they weren't all diabetes related. So then, 2018, November, we're listening to YouTube because we're on a trip. And the only YouTube videos, there's a few keto, but what else are we going to listen to? I don't remember which one was first, but it's a classic. Sean Baker, Michaela Peterson, Jordan Peterson on Joe Rogan. Those were the only 3 carnivore videos in 2018. There wasn't any more. That was it. Now I spend my days listening all day long. I'm addicted to carnivore videos. Anyway, so we listened, and when we got home from the trip, I started the carnivore diet, and I was so excited. I knew it was going to heal, and it was really awesome. I had horrible diarrhea for 6 solid months, but I was so determined because of this promise of healing. In 6 months, my floaters in my eyes went away. They were so bad that I could really barely see because they were just floating all around. They were completely gone in 6 months. And then the other thing that happened was we used to, when I would fly in airplanes, my ears would really, really, really hurt when we took off or landed. So I'd have to put weird things in my ears and just cry. So we had the chance to go to Italy and Russia, and I was so afraid that I was going to have this pain. I had no pain. But also for the first 6 months, I coughed up mucus. Anyway, it cleared my ears out, and so that was cool. And the other weird things that healed are things like I don't get lost inside buildings anymore. I have confidence to get up on a stage and talk to people. So when my husband was alive, he really liked doing things for me. Too much. So I wasn't used to doing hardly any. My job was cooking. That was it. He helped me clean the house. He drove. I didn't even drive for many years unless we were on a trip. So I've learned how to drive. I don't get lost. I can read my maps. I'm doing really great. It was an amazing recovery from my death of my soulmate. But I really thank carnivore for that, because I don't think that I would have had the strength. I get up every day. I have a wonderful, incredible life. And I love you guys so much. So I want to say that when I was 42 and I had little kids, I could not run and play with them. But now, when I've got 6 grandchildren, and we go to the pickleball court, and they say, let's race, and I say, okay, and I race with them, and they range in age from 4 to 20. And I didn't beat anybody. Well, I beat the little kids, but I didn't beat any of the 20-year-olds, but I did run, and my life is amazing, and I'm just really happy, and you guys are so awesome. And so what about my type 1 diabetes? It's still going. I take a lot less insulin. I only take about 10 units a day. It's not much. I do really well. I'm very strict. I eat the lion diet with occasional bacon when I'm out. And I guess that's about it.
We love you.